ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शांति मंत्र। वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यात् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनिरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तो ते मयि सन्तो ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः तत् एवं क्रमेण उपसंहृते समूलं प्राप्ते मनसि. So this way, in various ways, the teacher has shown how everything, when analyzed, leads to Sat Rit. And different simple ways of arriving at that, because there requires reasoning, even though the Shruti or the Upanishad reveals what the truth is. But our mind wants reasoning. What's the method of arriving at what the Upanishad says? Then convinced about it. And so conviction has to develop. The conviction develops when the intellect satisfied that is in keeping with the reason. So even though what the Upanishad says is not arrived at by reason, because the independent pramana, means of knowledge, but what it says is in keeping with reason. Does not defy reason, does not contradict reason. That is why it is possible for us to understand what the Shruti says. And for reasoning, different illustration methods are given. Some rustic methods are given. So, Asana Vipase Me Vijanihi. Oh my dear, me Asana Vipasa. Bhashim. So, by thus the Nirvachanam, Nirukti, by explaining the components making the Ashanaya, how that which is the food, which transforms the food when we eat solid food, and water transforms it and digests it. And thus the food merges into water. What remains is water, which is circulated, the energy circulated in the body. So even by the use of ashanaya, which is a common word, for ordinary person means hunger. For a thinking person, it means water. The food is meaning and the effect cause. So water is a cause of food or anna. And pipasa is when When does thirst, when does hunger happen? When the stomach becomes empty of food. What creates that emptiness? It is water that digests the food, takes it away upward as energy. So and pipasa, when the thirst comes, when fire dries up the water, there is thirst, and that's when water merges into fire, there is thirst. So, by observation of what is simply going on in our body, it is shown how annam in apha water, what has its source in fire. So, everything leads to, that's how we're told, how everything ultimately leads to sat or existence. Sangulaha swamimaha prajaha. So then this we can understand how annam halapaha, water, and water is source in fire, teja. And then it is made, the statement is made here. Tejaha somya sungena sangulamanvicha. May you seek to know that Tejas or the element fire has its root in Sat. Because we were told how the Sat deliberated and created fire, etc. So that's when you go back in the reverse order. So Sat deliberated, created the element fire, fire deliberated, created element water, that deliberated element earth. By the reverse process, you go back to Sat. Sanmulaha somyaha sarvaha prajaha. All the beings have their root in Sat, meaning that their origin in Sat. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Lord Krishna says, I'm the prabhava. I am the origin of everything. Here Sat is shown as the origin of everything. Sat alone means what Lord Krishna says, I. Sanmulaha imaha prajaha. Sadayatanaha, they have their ayatanam, they have their being also in Sat when they are there. Sat Pratishtha, when ultimately they perish, they merge back into Sat. So Sat is the material cause of the entire universe. So this is what we were told, and now what the teacher proposed as to how by knowing Sat everything becomes known, that description is over now. Because as far as the universe of names and forms is concerned, it is a product of three elements, Tejaha, Apaha, Annam, and how that leads to Sat. And as far as is Sat, what they call in fact relationship, by giving the identification. Things that I am a Jiva because of identification of the gross body, subtle body. And that is why we do not appreciate our true nature in the waking state, dream state. Therefore, the Shruti took us to the deep sleep state, where the identification automatically goes away. The fact that I thought I was a Jiva was because of identification, because if Jivatvam was my nature, it would persist in all the states. But the fact that Jivatvam, the sense of being a limited individual, does not persist in deep sleep state, because you know identifying the gross body, no identifying the subtle body. Sada Somya Tada Sampanna Bhavati. Then this Jivatma merges into Sat, meaning that he arrives at its true nature, which is Sat. So individual also is shown to be Sat, the universe also is shown to be Sat, what is Sat. So the pratigna, the proposition, Uda tamadesham aprakshya, shrutam shrutam bhavati, amatam matam, avijnadam vijnadamiti. Asked of Shvetaketu, hey Shvetaketu, did you ask for that truth? By listening to which everything else becomes listened to, by reflecting upon which everything as well becomes reflected, by knowing which everything as well becomes known. So the whole discussion started with a proposition of knowing that by which everything becomes known. Everything ascension and ascension. So now we were told how ascension is all product of three elements leads to Sat by the process of reducing effect into cause, material cause. Like the pot is reduced to clay because pot is nothing but clay, clay is a material cause. So also water is a material cause of Annam, take cause of water, and Sat is the material cause of Tejas. So this was by the process of reducing effect into cause. When it came to individual Sat has not affected into anything. No transformation has taken place here. As far as universe is concerned, we can say Sadas as though transform into universe. We need to reduce effect. Still the process. Here Sat is not transformed. Sat has a notion that I am a Jiva. It is not the transformation. Sat doesn't think that I am Jiva. Why does Sat think I am Jiva? Because of physical bodies. Stage now when this identification is not there, how you your own Swarupa, which is Sat. When you come back, you recognize yours. You're always Sat. But because of identification, that I'm a Jivatma, that identification goes very evident. Then what I am is Sat. Nothing more needs to be said. So now the teacher summarizes what he said, and finally the purpose of the whole thing, purpose of whole teaching is not simply the academic knowledge of knowing that everything becomes known. So what? Purpose of to make me free, to make me free from all unhappiness, sadness, sorrow once and for all. What we are seeking in life is not knowing everything and stuff like that. We are not interested. We are interested in ourselves. In what way? Because I find myself grieved. So Bhagavad Sochami, O Venerable Sir, I is there who is so accomplished. Cross this ocean of grief. I want to cross the grief. I want to be happy. These are not separate processes. The removal of ignorance and removal of darkness and illumination takes place simultaneously. It's not that darkness is removed and something needs to be done to illuminate these things. You follow? Similarly, darkness of sorrow is removed. The happiness illumines me. It is the nature of myself. Meaning that no set required to be happy. All that is required is to remove this sadness or grief. And thus, the elimination of grief is accompanied by the attainment of happiness. So that has to be done. So that pratigna is all right. By knowing one thing, everything becomes known is nice. But not enough. My interest is in becoming happy. I want to be free. So this knowledge should give us freedom. Therefore, now the teacher imparts that knowledge in such a manner that Shvetaketu becomes. So now we come to the next passage. Passage 15. स एषः अणिमा ऐतदात्मविदं सर्वं तत्सत्यं स आत्मा तत्त्वमसि श्वेतकेतो इति. Well, there is something that continues, but this is Tattvamasi Shvedaka. But before saying Tattvamasi, the teacher said this. So Esha Anima. Anima means the atom, the state of being an atom. So Anima is the atomic nature. Atom means subtle. By the word atom, we do not mean some kind of a small particle. Atom is something which we cannot see, which we cannot perceive. So what we cannot perceive is called subtle. What we cannot perceive with our eyes is called small or subtle. So what we cannot, then you can say not only what we cannot see with eye is small, what we cannot see at all is small, is really subtle. So Esha Anima, this is the subtle Anima, subtle essence. So we will know Bhavaha, it's a state of being subtle, meaning the subtle essence. Aitat Atmam Idam Sarvam. Idam Sarvam, all this is Aitat Atmam. Aitat, this subtle essence is that which is the Atma of this whole universe. Or the whole universe is that which has the subtle essence as the Atma. What is the subtle essence? Saha Yaha. Saha is that. Now Saha is a pronoun which will refer to something which is already under discussion. So what is under discussion? Sanmulaha, Swamimaha Prajaha, Sat Pratishthaha, Sadayatanaha, Sat Pratishtha. That was what preceded. That Sat is referred to by the pronoun Yah. What is under discussion is Sat. So Yah, the Sat is neuter gender, is referred here by Yah, which is masculine gender. Sometimes these people, they seem to forget the grammar, basic grammar also. And therefore there seems no order, no vyavastha at all, what gender to use. Somebody use neutral gender, masculine, so they are the feminine gender, you have masculine gender. Because it is transcend gender, therefore. Transcend gender, meaning that it is devoid the idea of gender. Yaha, why is masculine used? Because now this is being told specific to Shvetaketu. And since Shvetaketu is a masculine gender, therefore that Sat is referred to as Yah. Yah Esha Anima. This, that is the subtle substance. What? That Sat, which is the subtle substance, subtle essence. So what is the essence of the entire universe? In the world of physics, what is the fundamental building block? What is a God particle? So we hear a new particle every 10 years or something like that, and that will happen. In fact, it will happen forever, which is a great thing. As somebody said that to really know in totality some particular cell in the body of some particular animal in Australia, to know one cell, if all the scientists work for all the time and they will, the reason is simple. To know one, everything connected to that. You follow? Everything is connected to everything else. To know one thing, you should know everything, but to know everything, you should know one thing. You understand? Our Swami used to say that to know one verse of Gita properly, you should know all other verses of Gita also because they're all interconnected. So to know one verse, you should know all verses. But to know all the verses, you should know one verse. So what will you do? Then the solution was that you should go to someone who knows all the verses. That was the gurudom. That's how to establish the need of a teacher. But here, you can see in science, they know all this. They know they're very, very intelligent people. That you cannot know anything in its entirety. And we know because it's all mithya. That's all mithya. It can never be determined to be so and so. When there is interdependence and therefore to know one thing, you should know everything. But this is what science wants to know. They are searching for that one thing by knowing which everything can be known, which God particle, or whatever name you give. So they are in search of that, which is the fundamental building block by knowing which whole universe can be. What does Vedanta say? That is Sat. Sukshma, subtle. Subtle means that which cannot, not only that which cannot be seen, which is not material. What's meant by subtle is it is not material. It is not an object. Because object can be today or tomorrow objectified and somehow known. But that which can never be known as an object is what? The very subject. Ultimately, it will come to that. Right now, it says it is the subtle essence of the entire universe. And this universe has that as its Atma. Aitat Atmam idam sarvam, all this says Aitat Atma. Aitat, that Sat is Atma of which is called Aitat Atmam. And thus the whole universe has Sat as its Atma. So what is the essence of the entire universe? Sat. So not by the physical reducing effect into cause or the assembly into its components. Two kinds of reductions are used. Reduce, assembly into components, subdivide the particles. Or effect into cause. Not that way, you can never arrive at it by that way. Here the process, one of now finally, you can arrive at it up to tejas, meaning up to the final element. But then you have to in order to know the role. And so also these names and forms will be negated. As long as you keep names and forms and try to find out what it is, you cannot come to Sat. Names and forms will drop completely. Then the process no more remains an objective process. Then it becomes not physics. Now there is an inward journey. It doesn't come in physics, so they won't accept that this is all. But for a scientist who is Vedantic, that we would know that that by any scientific process, regardless of what kind of models to construct Sat or consciousness, because it is the essence of the one who is investigating. You're investigating into something which is natural, is thought to other than yourself. You kinds of things. And give very, very sophisticated names, and they are very it's beyond my mind anyway what they talk about. We respect them regardless of what it is. Unless that is dropped, unless stop investigating. Look at the investigator. Then these models don't apply. The scientific models don't apply. Then I look at the investigator. And so, what is the nature of, as Swami used to say, meditation upon the meditator. So there is a meditation upon some subject of meditation and meditation upon the meditator. So that is subtle, means that which can never be objectified. Understand? Subtle means that which is not subject to objectification. Powerful instruments also can be objectified. The very essence of subject. That's Satyam. That's Sat, which is you can call the fundamental building block, which is essence, the subtle essence of the entire universe. Is Satyam. Now this is, so now we can say Sat is Satyam. Now there is an equation here that what was started as Sat as existence as the cause of the creation is nothing but Satyam or truth. What is Satyam? Abhaditam Satyam. The Vedanta definition of Abhadidam epitishtati, that which cannot, which is there in the past, present, and future, which can never not be. You follow? Which can never not be, which always is. At all times, at all places, and all and waking, dream, deep sleep, past, present, future, good, bad, indifferent, Isha, idam sarvam, yat kinga. Whatever there is in the universe, a saint or a sinner, all of that, it is the essence of everything. Not that God is here and not in there. If there is a Satan or someone that excludes God, then God also is excluded. Nothing can exclude this. Meaning that it is a self of everything. Just as gold is the self of every ornament. If the honest, so gold doesn't mind. Gold doesn't say, I want, this ornament is no good. No, not good looking. I won't come in there, no. So, Lord Krishna says, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Dvesho Sena Priya. I'm equal to everybody. Name Dvesho Sena Priya. There is no one whom I dislike, nor whom I am partial to. I equally abide the self of all. Imagine how vast is heart of God or Sat. That accommodates everything. And Ravana also, and Rama also. The Sat Atma is the same. Then why all this Ravanatvam is only in the personality, Ramatvam only in the name and form, superimposed. And so there is not the reality of Rama, whatever his personality looks like. In essence, the same is Satyam, is a truth, which is not negated by any name, form, or circumstances. So, what is the truth of the universe? Sat, which is the essence of everything. So, Atma, so, say the Shankaracharya, Nanya asti asya Atma samsari. So, there is Nanyat ata asti drashtru. There is no drashta other than Sat. So the drashta, anta, the seer, hearer, thinker, who is here? one seer everywhere, one hearer everywhere, one thinker everywhere, one conscious being everywhere, and that is Sat. Tat Satyam. So Atma. No, Atma is a self. Everyone knows Atma to be a conscious being. When you Sat, existence, you think that maybe it's an inert entity, it's a cause of the endeavor, creation, insentient. So one would think that the cause of the insentient creation also is insentient. So someone may take Sat or existence insentient things. No, so Atma. Everybody knows that Atma, the self, is a conscious entity. That I'm conscious. So what is Sat also is consciousness. So that Satyam, Sat alone is the truth or non-negatable, and Sa Atma, that alone is self of the whole universe. So Jagat, it is the self of the entire universe. Sat is the self of the entire universe, is the consciousness that is the self of the entire universe. And there is no conscious being other than that. Conscious being and another is the conscious. There are so many conscious beings, as many names and forms are there, as many conscious beings are there. So that's what we think. One Atma, another Atma, and one seer, another seer. So no, there is no seer other than this. No, I'm a seer, you're another seer. No. The seer that I am is a seer, hearer, thinker, no thinker other than him, no hearer other than him, no seer other than him, no conscious being other than him, no consciousness other than him. Tattvamasi Shvedaketo. Atma is always used for the self. What can we use? I mean, you don't know Brahman, etc. Any other word may perhaps create in you the idea of some entity. Brahman is everything. So everything is Brahman, so you think everything is Brahman. When some word is used, we usually try to objectify. But we are very clear, Atma means Pratyeka. The most self is alone called Atma. And the words Atma, so Pratyak Swarup is the innermost essence of the self. Sat Tattvam is a quintessence of everything. It's very reality. So Atma means essentially the innermost reality, and that is what is that Atma of the entire universe is Sat. That meaning you are that. What is that? That Karanam. That means that. What is that? Jagat Karanam. So that which is the cause of the entire universe. However, we know that this is material cause, but we discuss two kinds of material cause. In material cause, such as cause, transformation to become a part, it's called the Parinami Upadana Karanam. But material cause, such as rope, which becomes snake without giving up its true nature, is called Vivarta. So it's not only material cause, but the Vivarta. Meaning that everything is superimposed. Names and forms are all superimposed, are all mithya, vacharambanam. When the cause is real, effect is mithya. Otherwise, cause and effect are the same kind of reality. Normally, cause is real, effect is mithya. So that you are. So you are the self of the entire universe. You are the adhisthana, the substrate of the entire universe. Understand everything is superimposed. So that is, if you remember, evening when we talk, the teacher started with the body. Hey Shvetaketu, you should know that of the Sharira, the body, you investigate what is the Shungam or what is the cause of this body, it turns out to be Annam. Because body is multiplication of food. What's turns out to be what's the cause of water? Teja. What's the cause of that? Sat. So it started with his body also. It took the names and forms and came here. Meaning that what this body, mind, sense complex is also Sat, understand? So still I am identified as the body. I think that this is my personal, but when I realize what this body, that also is nothing but Sat. So those names and forms also are Sat. Is also Sat. What is this Sat? And that I am. So this way, this equation that you are Sat, and whenever so what is Sat is Chit. You said Sat and Chit have no dimension at all. Because Sat means ease goes with everything. Pot is, cloth is, table is, you is, she is, bird is. That is in fact is the most common denominator. With all the quantities, table, chair, sentient, insentient, nothing is apart from is. You cannot think of anything without thinking of is. So if you pay attention in any thought, but any object, any name and form, is always not. It's only when that is not of, it's always there. We experience it. So not that we have to experience it because it is our own self and self-effulgent. Just as I said, when you appreciate this part, appreciation of clay without clay, form without experiencing is. So Upanishad says that understand that name and form is not really there. Using the name and form is a tangible thing because it is a useful thing. So usefulness alone is given reality. So we say that pot is real because pot is useful for fetching water and filling water and stuff like that. So it's no satyam is abhaditam. What is pot now becomes only those shards and pieces, and that becomes powder. And so what is there is only clay. So therefore a lot of attention was paid to Nama and Rupa, Vacharamam, because make very sure the name and form are only mithya, just an appearance, have no substance at all about name and form. The only substance names and forms are is Sat. Only substance the individual has is Sat. So keep on contemplating upon this and make sure that you do not miss Sat while experiencing anything. Recognize that in every experience, the experience of Sat and Chit is always involved. Why is it so? That Sat and Chit is where? The Asti Bhati Prem, where is it? You say that what is, what shines, what is dear? Asti Bhati Priyam. The Asti Bhati Priyam, is it in pot? Where is that? Where the pot is that Asti Bhati Priyam is? Asti Ahamasmi Sada Bhami Kadachinna. The Asti Bhati Priyam is I. No, Swami, I see what you see is part, name and form. So when we experience name and form, the experience is always there, very self. Because Atma is self. And therefore you cannot, that is the basic experience. Unless you experience Atma, you cannot experience anything. Unless you experience clay, you cannot experience a pot. Unless you experience gold, you cannot experience ornament. So unless Asti Bhati Prem is there, no name and form can be experienced. So essence of name and form is not out there. Tattvamasi, that is I. Whole process, the loop has to be complete. If I am not included, everything is incomplete. Not only I am not included, I am everything. That's what Upanishad says. So investigation has to slowly turn around from there, but that is mithya. Mithya has no content. So it's all right for a scientist because there are many other reasons to do that. But for a person who is searching for truth, he realizes his name and form is all changing. Is unsteady, unpredictable, has no content at all. The content of what is out there is I. What is in here, I shouldn't even say in here, but anyway, what is in here is the content of what is out there. There's no in and out anywhere still. Vishwam Darpana Dushyaman Tulyam Nijandargatam. The entire universe is like a city seen in a mirror of the consciousness. Nijan, it's all within me. The universe looks like it's outside of me, and I'm inside. That is what I think. So that is why we give you an example. Yatha Nidraya. Just in a dream also, it looks to me like the dream world is outside me. When I'm experiencing dream, how does it look? The dream world is outside me. When I wake up, what happens? Yat sakshat kurate prabodha samaye svatmanamevadvayam. When you wake up, then you find that the entire dream world ultimately has merged into you, that all the world in fact is you. Because if there was anything other than you in the dream, then when the dream merges, something else should be left out other than you. But when the dream is over, nothing is left other than you, meaning that it has merged into you. It emerged from you, it merged into you, so it was sustained by you. But while I was dreaming, it looked as though the dream was outside of me. That outside was just a projection. So right now also, when I appreciate the world looks like all outside of me. Why is it so? Because I've confined myself to this body, therefore. On account of identifying with this body mind sense complex, I think that I'm only this much and confined here. And so what is outside the body is outside me because I am body. I am not the body. So body itself is reduced to Sat. So when I am body, all that, what is body? Shariram, what is Shariram? Annam, what is Annam? Apa, what is Apaha? Teja, what is Teja? Sat. So even body also does not remain body. So even when I say I am body, it turns out only I am Sat, which has no dimension. So idea of outside inside itself disappears when I really take myself truly into account. So Nijantargatam, what is within, unfortunately, is taken to be outside there. So the idea of outside and inside itself disappears. It's there only with reference to the body, which is a reference point. But there is no body, there is only Sat. So this was the miracle that was performed here. In this particular, the body also was shown to be Sat. So even when I say I am body, if I contemplate more upon it, the body itself is Sat. And so there is nothing outside, nothing inside. And thus you are everything. You are boundless. There's no limitation in you. See, all the grief is caused because I think I'm a limited being. The cause of all the grief or sorrow is because I take myself to be a limited being. When can you make me unhappy? When can somebody cause me grief? When they can manage to make me feel small, insignificant, inadequate, dependent, no good. That thought about myself just makes me sad. All sadness or grief has its center upon I. It's not an event causes grief. If I do not connect myself with the event, it doesn't cause grief. Happiness, nothing is created. Happiness also comes when I gets connected. Unhappiness comes only when I get connected. Otherwise, things keep on happening everywhere. Something happens in Pulwama, it's India, and my people, and every day in Iraq, so many people are blown up and since blowing up is everywhere. I look at the newspaper, turn pages, nothing happens to me. I being insensitive anyway, but when something happens here in India, which I consider my country, my people, then I'm directly. So when I get connected, then grief comes. Meaning that the grief is centered on I. Happiness also is centered on I. When some event happens, when my son gets first rank, I'm happy. Every year I read the names of first rank. Doesn't do anything. My son, even my friends and also will do. Some way I should be connected. So all sukha dukkha are all centered upon I. And all of that is when I feel a sense of limitedness. So all that you need to do is there. That is waiting to many. The grief is always there because the basic notion that I am limited is there in me because of ignorance. Taking the upadhi to be myself that I am limited is a constantly is undercurrent behind all the thoughts. What I am trying to do is so whenever I confront my mind, which feels limited, I feel miserable, so I try to run away from my mind. I don't want to confront my mind. Moment I'm with myself, I'm limited, I'm inadequate, I'm this, I'm that, and that mind makes me miserable. So social media, this media, that media, today it is there, but it is from the beginning that some distraction is always there. Today we got social media. That doesn't mean people did not have escaped direction past that. I'm sure in Vedic times also every human being needs it to escape from himself. Because the moment I look at myself, I find myself a limited being. I can't stand myself. I can't confront myself to escape myself. Vedanta is confront yourself. You're not what you take yourself to be. Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. Hey Shvetaketu, you are the Sat, Jagat Karan, the cause of creation, the self of all. You are not this body, mind, sense complex. You are the self. Sat is dimensionless, limitless. That's what you are. And if you contemplate on yourself that way, because contemplation of oneself is constantly going on, by the way. You always contemplate who? I'm limited. I'm this. I'm brother. I'm sister. I'm walker. I'm talker. I'm thinker. I'm seer. I'm hearer, eater, drinker. Constantly going on. Each one is miserably limited. Because walker is limited, talker is limited, thinker is limited, seer. Everything is limited, insignificant. Who is a seer? Identify the eyes. Who is hearer? Identify the ear. Now, what are these ear poor things? Small little thing. I'm as good as that. When I reduce myself by identification. So constantly think of myself in this manner. In every thought, every notion about myself, the sense of limitedness is built in. I don't have to separately think that I'm limited. When I say I'm a thinker, when R is added, a role is added, that's identification with Upadhi. And that means that there's no separate unhappiness than sense of limitation, understand? It's only when you become aware that tears start rolling, but basically it's there in the background. All we need is somebody to push my button. So you say something to me, and what is there just comes out, and I start crying, or I start reacting. Ignorance, which brings about the identification with this body mind sense complex, creates a sense of insignificance, not even limitation, but this little thing is insignificant. And I struggle to become significant by increasing my knowledge, increasing my power, my wealth, name, fame, and I try to assert myself. I'm something, हम भी कुछ कम नहीं, etc., etc. It's like that silkworm trying to become free and builds all kinds of things around itself. So it is really a tragedy. Ignorance. What causes ignorance? Why ignorance? I don't know. Vedanta's model of solving all problems. All problems of sadness and depression arise. So when this idea, I'm small, I'm limited, I'm insignificant, I'm no good, when you build up, you become sad. Further build up, you become depressed. So the need to feel good about yourself. The solution to all psychological problems or emotional problems are to feel good about myself. Yes, Swami, I feel good. You can't, unfortunately. So they say that you do something. What do? You make somebody happy. So when you contribute, as a contributor, you that I could do something. So transform yourself from a consumer. A consumer is a miserable person. A contributor is a happy person. So some that simple solution of including others. As long as I'm so small, smaller I am, more miserable I am. So include others. In karma yoga means including others. Anyway, so that's how the whole process. And unless we do that, it's not going to work. Simply discussion will not work. You have to do it. Hands on, go and help somebody. Go and do something. Make them happy. Make them, and when you feel that you can make somebody happy, you feel so good about it. Feeling good about yourself is happiness. Feeling limited about yourself is unhappiness. Feeling good about yourself is happiness. Because there is self-acceptance. When I'm limited, there is self-non-acceptance. When acceptance is there, I feel good about myself. So Tattvama, that is how this Upadesha, that you are limitless, which is reality. It's not a brain, it's not, it's not brainwashing, it's not pep talk. This is reality. That's why Upanishad is called Pramanam. You are limitless is the reality about you. Everything else is projection about you. So that is how the contemplation is Soham. It's a Tattvamasi. So what do I say? Aham Brahmasmi. So Tat means Brahman or Saha or Sat Sa Atma. So Soham is that Saha, as a Jagat Karanam, the self of all, or limitless that I am. And this resolves all the problems. The only problems are emotional problems. There are no other problems. Physical hunger, thirst, and stuff like that, nobody bothers. That can be easily resolved. Even if you're hungry, that doesn't mean you're miserable, understand? Because people stay hungry on their own. And they feel good also. I've been fasting for the whole day, Swamiji. 2 days, 3 days. So that makes you feel good. Hunger doesn't mean misery. Thirst does not mean misery. Nothing means misery. No, experience means misery. The conclusion from experience of myself is what causes misery. So even though we consider somebody else as cause of my sadness, no. That somebody managed to trigger a button, so the self-judgment came out, and then I started condemning myself. He says some words which I think is an insult, and then I internalize it, and I think he's right, and therefore I sympathize, accept it. Otherwise, if I simply say that is his opinion, somebody says something, that's opinion. Let it be. Give them the freedom to have that opinion. Then you're free. But that opinion, I make my opinion. That means we echo what other people say. For the simple reason that I don't think too highly of myself even today. So when you say something, I accept it. That must be so. You know what Swami's famous statement that four fellows are going, and you tell them, hey Sridhar, Sridhar looks back. Hey Devadatta looks back. Idiot, all the four look back. Well, that's what people think of themselves. Very low self-esteem. Everybody is suffering from a very low self-esteem. What do you expect? When you equate yourself with upadhi, which is insignificant, you cannot have high self-esteem. You can make really positive thinking and stuff like that. How far it can go? Right thinking, correct thinking is what Upanishad teaches us. So it's not just repeating these words, understand? Even that also will help. Soham, that also. But then to sort of reflect upon what it means. So this is one statement, Tattvamasi. In Hindi में सब दुखों की एक दवा. This is dava or this is the medicine for every kind of unhappiness. Tattvamasi. Meanings Soham, Aham Brahmasmi. Closer we come to understanding that in our life, closer we come to freedom from all sorrow. And if you totally own it up, you're totally free from all the sorrow. So this is the primary teaching of Upanishad. All this stuff was said. He just didn't say Tattvamasi on the first day to Shvetaketu. Tattvamasi. What do you mean Tattvamasi? You are Brahman. What do you mean I am Brahman? So teacher took a long time to explain what Tat is, Jagat Karana. It's like the Shakuni, like the example of that Sata Soumya, that you are Sat and Tattvamasi. That Jagat Karanam is truth of the universe, is the self of the universe, and that you are. So you are the truth of the universe, you are the self of the universe, you are everything. You are the self of all. There's nothing separate from you. So that is Advitiyatva. Self of the Jagat is the self that you are. Nothing is separate from you, nothing is away from you. There's no exclusion. Because, as we said earlier, what causes also unhappiness in me is when I feel excluded by you. That's a very common thing in the Vyavahara. Uh, Exclude this person. So you don't like somebody, exclude them. Don't involve them. Something like that. That's how it takes satisfaction. So we feel miserable because we're excluded. But here, Tattva, you are the self of all. Nothing excludes you, you do not exclude anything. All exclusion goes away. That exclusion is called Dvaitam, or the division. There's no division. Even though there is duality at the level of body, mind, sense, which is all, that's the glory. See, when you know the non-duality, then duality becomes glory. If you do not know non-duality, duality becomes a problem. So, once you know, then this is called Vibhuti of the Lord, glory of the Lord. Then the whole Sampurnam, Jagadeva Nandanavanam, the whole universe becomes Nandavanam, the garden of Indra. Sarvebhi Kalpadrumaha, all the trees become like a wish fulfilling Kalparuksha. Gang Vari Samasta Vari Nivaha, all the waters become the water of Ganges, etc. etc. How the same thing vision of a wise person, everything gets transformed. Source of misery becomes a source of happiness. When I appreciate everything as the glory, not only glory of Lord, glory of yourself, not self that limited self. So will that not make proud? No. That means you but once you know what the self is, the question. So this is to eliminate pride of Shvetaketu also. If you are arrogant because you took this body, mind, sense complex as yourself, you are the self of all. Where's the question of pride? You're superior to what? Superior to yourself? Or inferior to yourself? You alone are. Sayaschayam Purusha. Yes, Chasamaditya. Say, the consciousness that is here and that is in the superiority, inferiority is there at the level of this upadhi, name and form, but not at the level of the self. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutrabhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Hari Om